Hi, it's Chef and Builder Janie Pendleton. We are back in the kitchen where we are talking about vacuum sealing, oven canning, pressure canning, water bath canning, all the different types of methods of long-term and short-term types of food storage. Well, we just finished making our soup base. Go right here and get that video and join up with us because you need the soup base to make this next recipe, okay? Now what I'm making here is I'm just going to sit my pint jar here. This is enough for 2 people, a 2 serving. And remember, when you mix this up, it's 1 part, one container of what we're getting ready to put in here, plus 2 of these containers of water. It's always 1 part mix, 2 parts water. Okay, and I want to show this to you. Today we are going to be making, we're going to take some of the bow tie pasta. You can use any pasta you want. We're going to be taking our soup base and some Parmesan cheese, which is shelf stable, and we're going to vacuum seal it here in a jar. And I'm going to show you the amounts here in just a minute. All right, so we're just putting our jar. Make sure our jar is washed and dry. I dry them in the oven. Make sure that they're sterilized because we could be putting these away. These are mill jars. We eat them pretty quickly. But if STH does happen or a tornado were to come through here and I were to be able to salvage these, there could be worse things I could be eating than my meal in a jar, trust me. And these also make good gifts as well at the holidays. Now what you need is you need a 1/3 cup measure. So in a pint jar, okay, in a pint jar, you're going to reach in here. Let me make sure I mix that good enough. And you're going to grab 1/3 cup of your pre-made soup base mix, okay? I'll spread that out just a little bit so I can, there you go. And you can see on here that it's 1/3 of a cup here on our measure here. So you can measure it this way. In an emergency, you might not have a measuring cup. You might not have one. You may not have a tablespoon. If that's the case, then remember your jars do tell you. Now, I'm also going to add to this 1.5 tablespoons of the Parmesan cheese, and this is the Parmesan cheese powder. You can use the flakes or whatever, as long as it comes on a shelf stable. As long as you didn't buy it from the refrigerator section at the store and you bought it off a shelf, that means it's shelf stable. To that, we're going to add a dash of basil. We're going to add a dash of parsley. We're going to add a little scant, what I call scant, not quite a full teaspoon of our dehydrated onions, onion flakes, onion powder, whatever you've got, that works. This is my garlic powder. We're going to do the same thing with it. I'm going to do a 1/2 teaspoon of dehydrated garlic. That's very powdery. Ooh, it's going up my nose. Woo! A little bit of salt. Going to do a tablespoon of the sour cream powder. Again, that's a tablespoon of sour cream powder. A few shakes of pepper. I think I would like to put a little bit of my thyme in here from my garden. Oh, about a 1/2 teaspoon of my thyme, not much. Remember, this makes 2 servings, and I'm talking nice servings because you're adding 2 more things of water to this. Okay, let's see. Now to this, you could either add beef or chicken bouillon to this, but I'm not going to do that. You could even add cream cheese powder to this as well. I don't have any left. But what I do have is I do have some of this ground mustard powder, and I'm going to add about 1/8 teaspoon of the ground mustard powder, just to give it a little flair. Isn't this easy and isn't this fun? I'm just going to kind of Putting that in, and you can layer it to make it look better, but what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to come in here and I'm going to kind of stir that in to my sauce mix just a little bit. Makes it look a little better on the shelf. Oops. Tap that down and kind of level it a little bit. And now we're going to put our pasta in here, and I'm just doing the bow ties. See, I'm just going to do the bow ties. You have to shake it and get it really settled in there. And again, it'd be one of these to 2 parts water. So 1 part mix, 2 parts water when you cook it. Give or take a little bit of water. You might have to more room in here. Simmer this on very low for about 15 minutes, 20 minutes to get the pasta done. There we go. I don't like breaking the pasta, but to get more in here for more people, sometimes you just got to. Well, all right. Now we're going to take this over and we're going to vacuum seal this. You can put an oxygen absorber in here if you think it's going to be a while before you eat it. But isn't that beautiful? And you have Alfredo, pasta Alfredo on your shelf, ready to go. You can take this and put this in a Mylar bag, push the air out of it, write the instructions on the front, and take this backpacking. Your son's going out hunting, put some of this in a Mylar bag, one of those Ziploc Mylar bags, and he can put this and just pour some hot water from his campfire into the Mylar bag, seal it up, and let it sit for 15-20 minutes, go back to it, and voila, you have some delicious Alfredo out on the trail. And you can add some freeze-dried chicken to this. Some freeze-dried hamburger to this would be like a beef stroganoff. Some freeze-dried beef roast. Anything along that line. You could throw some dehydrated peas in here. I think I will. I mean, why not? You got to have your vegetable. You could put broccoli in this as well. I don't have any broccoli. We're not big broccoli eaters here. You hear that sill? You listen for the sill. Smell it. Smells really good, actually. So I think I will. I think I'm just going to put a few peas in here for some color. Kind of fill in the gaps a little bit here. Remember, it doesn't take very many peas because these peas have really shrank down when we dehydrated them. So that's actually a lot of peas. Let me tell you, that's a lot of peas. Let me kind of see if I can't get them. There we go. Kind of get those peas down in there a little bit without throwing them all over my kitchen floor. Actually, I made room for some more pasta, didn't I? There you go. One more pasta. One more pasta. Can't hurt anything. All right. Now I'm going to take this over my Silamill and we'll be right back. Okay, here we are going to seal this up. Here you can put a 100cc oxygen absorber in here, but we're planning on eating these up pretty quickly. These are just going to go in our regular cabinet, and this, like I said, you can just open one of these up, or you can dump it just like it is now and go ahead and just dump it into a Mylar bag. You've got your measurements right here for 2 people. Two adults who don't eat that much, you know, just serve some biscuits or some sort of bread with it. You know, make your Irish soda bread or something and serve with it. That will help this to go further. All right, we have our Silamill right here. Make sure you get one that has the hole in it so you can plug it in like that right there. Okay, you're going to make sure that our top is dry, so you just want to take a very, very, very dry napkin. Get that dry. Make sure there's no powders on the lid. Remember, you can use your lids for vacuum sealing over and over and over I open and close mine. I've used mine 20, 30 times opening up a jar, and I don't pitch it. It just gets recycled to the next thing that I vacuum seal. And remember, you can use the lids from your canning. Okay, you can use your lids from your canning on vacuum sealing. So you can't reuse your lids for canning again, but you can take those lids when you open them up, and you can use them for this. Just be really careful that when you open your lid up for your canning or for these jars, that you very pry it open. You just want to hear that. And when you hear that, it'll pop itself off. You don't want to damage any of this right here, or you cannot reuse it. So just be very careful when you're popping your lids off, and you can reuse them over and over again for vacuum sealing. Okay? That's the miracle of this. Make sure that's pushed down all the way. By the way, this is the wide mouth one. This is the regular mouth one. Get them both. You'll need them. They're about $7 to $8 each on eBay. I have to burp this. Mine has to be burped here at the unit. There you go. See, now it's working. This mine's cantankerous that way. There's the green light. There it's off. Pull that off. I didn't have that on very well. Yeah, that's what happened. Okay, so there you go. Now see that right there? That's on there. I'm holding that up by the lid. That is like super sucked on there. And then there you have it. You have your bow ties and your Alfredo mix here on the bottom that just used the soup base mix, and some dehydrated peas. Like I said, you could put broccoli in there or leave the vegetable out altogether. Throw some freeze-dried chicken in here, or some ham, or some hamburger for a beef stroganoff. Use whatever pasta noodles you like. This is versatile, folks. Very versatile, and it's very delicious. Okay, so there's all kinds of things that you can do with these, and they're not just for hunting, camping, or emergencies. This is really good food. This is really good. All right, now tomorrow, come back, because tomorrow we are going to have cream of mushroom soup done the dehydrated way. So be sure and come back. Oh, hit that subscribe button, okay? Because we have a lot coming up, and you'll want to be subscribed. We have our 10,000 subscriber contest coming up, and we have some really good prizes. So the more that subscribe, the quicker they subscribe, the quicker we hit that 10,000 mark this month, the sooner I'll have that contest. So be sure and share this video if you like it. Give it the thumbs up, and let me know what kind of things you would like for me to bring, what kind of soups or pastas or what have you, because I got all kinds of things planned, but I can definitely add your favorite meal, and we can actually figure out a way to do it in the dehydrated version of it, so you can keep it for the busy work night. You know, just this in a pot with 2 jars of water, and you have a thick, creamy Alfredo sauce with beautiful bow ties. Some peas. These peas will rehydrate, and they'll be beautiful green again. They'll be beautiful. Trust me, it didn't take a lot of peas. These peas, this was a tin can number of peas that shrank down to a little bitty amount. So these were large peas. They'll get big. Again, you can do broccoli, and you can do ham, chicken, freeze-dried ham or chicken, or hamburger. Some freeze-dried hamburger in here would be great. You can get all that. The best tasting stuff, I think, is at Honeyville. So, I mean, I'm not getting money to say that. That's my opinion. All right? So we'll see you back here tomorrow. Blessings. Okay, we're back. We're going to try some of these bow ties peas in Alfredo sauce. It's just my dehydrated peas, the bow tie pasta, and that cream of something soup with some other mixings like Parmesan cheese and stuff. I'm going to open up this vacuum sealed jar. Remember, we made this about a week ago. It's here. It says 3/15. We're still in March, so it was about 2 weeks ago, I guess, I made that. We're going to open this up gently so we can reuse this lid. And I know that it's reusable because I'll just put some more of the same thing back in it again. So I'll just open this up gently. Ooh, yes. Hear that? And if I'd put an oxygen absorber in here, then this right here would last a really long time. But I knew I was going to be eating it, so I didn't want to waste them. So I'm going to pour this in. There we go. I'm going to fill this up 2 times with water. That's 1 thing of water. And I'm just going to put in 1.5 right now. Maybe a little bit more of that, maybe 1 3/4 cups of water. I'm going to give this a stir. Crank up the heat. And we're going to simmer this on a medium heat to medium low. And just so we got a nice bubble going in here. And we're going to simmer that for, say, 15 minutes. So the bow tie pasta's done and those peas have rehydrated. And I'll see you back here then. If I add the rest of that water in, I'll come back and I'll show you. Okay, now this is not one of those meals where I think you could just, I don't know, I don't think you could put these in a Mylar bag, pour really hot boiling water in here and seal it shut and have the noodles be done. I had to simmer this on low on the stove, stirring often, and I did use the full 2 jars, the 2 pints of water. So 2 pints of water, and you have this, look at this sauce. I think that it needed more bow tie pasta, so I think if I do it again, I think I'll do it in the 1.5 pint jars where I can get more pasta in for the amount of sauce that I made. Or I will put less sauce in here. I mean, it's good, don't get me wrong, but there is a lot of sauce in here to the amount of pasta, I think. So I think I could have reduced the sauce amount a little bit. But if I added less water like I was going to, it's almost like a gravy. It's almost like a gravy consistency, but it's like a cream of something soup. I mean, it did work. So the peas really regained their color again when rehydrated. They are really good, and you can see all the spices and the herbs that I used in here from my garden that I had dehydrated. The bow ties turned out great, but I ended up cooking this on low for about almost 15 minutes. So if you were going to do this, I would definitely not use bow ties. If you were going to do this in the Mylar bag and you weren't going to reheat this up on a stove or over a campfire. So if you don't bring your cooking gear with you and you're depending on Mylar bags, go with a smaller pasta, a skinnier pasta. And if this had been gluten-free pasta, it would have really heated up fine in the Mylar bag with boiling water. But as far as meal in a jar goes, just dumping it in here, adding 2 things of water, heating it up, couldn't have been easier. Could not have been easier. Now we're going to come back in just a few minutes and look at the consistency of that. This is that cream of something soup. Absolutely wonderful. It smells delicious. See that? It smells delicious. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to serve this up. So we'll be back in just a few minutes where my husband's going to get to try it. Yep, I'm going to make him take the first bite. He's my guinea pig. We'll be back. Okay, John's going to give my meal in a jar of my Alfredo, bow ties and Alfredo sauce. It's this is powder and dehydrated peas, rehydrated, and just added water and boiled for about 12 to 15 minutes. So give it a try and let's see what you think.
It's very good.
Now it needed salt, so I ended up adding quite a bit of salt to it. So
it tastes good though.
Oh, he took another bite, so it must be good. Mm-hmm. It's not poisonous, folks. He liked it. Mm-hmm. Okay.
It's great.
Awesomeness. Mm-hmm. And he's taking another bite. So what would you grade that for a meal in a jar if you were out camping or it was
I'd say a 10. It's good.
Okay, not a 10. It's definitely not a 10. I'd give it a 7.
I like
6 or 7. I'm just saying, if it was the last food on earth and SHTF situation, I mean, and this is what you had to eat.
I ate more than 1 bite. It's good.
Okay.
I like it.
Okay, I'll take some pictures and that'll be it. So this is Chef and Builder Janie Pendleton. Be sure and come along for the ride as we make more meals in a jar. Blessings.